You ever have something happen to you when you're younger that just sticks? You try to forget, move on, tell yourself it was nothing, but deep down, you know it wasn't. These are 3 stories from my life that I wish were just bad dreams, but they weren't. Asterisk before we start, if you enjoy true horror stories like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. It really helps the channel, and it lets me keep bringing you darker, scarier stories every week. Now, let's begin. Asterisk, I was about 13 when my parents shipped me off to a boarding school just outside of Chicago. I stayed there from 8th grade through most of high school, and during that time, I roomed with this kid named Evan. We weren't close at first, just 2 random guys thrown in the same dorm. But over time, I started noticing how weird he was. A couple weeks in, he walks up to me with this folded up piece of paper. No explanation, just hands it to me and says, "Make sure you don't bring any of this into the room." It was a list. Like an actual list of random junk I wasn't allowed to have. Stuff like frogs, and, for some reason, salt. I remember staring at him like, dude, what? Why would anyone care if I had salt? I wasn't about to pour Mortons all over my bed for fun. He wasn't joking either. His face stayed completely blank. Evan didn't have a sense of humor. And then there was his notebook. He kept it hidden under his mattress, super protective over it. One day, curiosity got the best of me. While he was at class, I pulled it out. It was full of names. Some were crossed out. Most weren't. And yeah, my name was on the list. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound made me jump. I kept wondering if he somehow knew I'd read it. For a while, nothing happened until one night, I woke up and saw him. He was standing right next to my bed, just standing there, smiling, hands halfway raised like he'd frozen mid-motion. I screamed like full-on panic scream, and he didn't even flinch, just stood there with that creepy grin. When I finally asked what the hell he was doing, he said, "You were talking in your sleep." Then he went back to bed like it was nothing. After that, things got worse. A few nights later, I came back to find a snake coiled up on my blanket, a live snake. Evan said it was just a prank, but when I asked where he got it, he said, "What do you mean? They're everywhere." Then he opened a jar on his desk and the snake slithered right in like it wanted to. I stopped sleeping in that room as much as I could. The last straw came one night when I woke up, frozen sleep paralysis or something. I saw this black, pulsing shape crawling across the ceiling. It looked alive. It dropped toward my bed, stretched out something that looked like a claw, and scratched the frame. Then it screamed, or something screamed, and burst straight through the window. I snapped awake for real. Glass was everywhere. The window actually was shattered. There were claw marks in my bed frame when I checked on Evan. He was sound asleep, snoring. By morning, he was gone. His stuff, everything cleared out. The school wouldn't tell me anything except, "He's no longer your concern." To this day, I still don't know what that kid was or what happened that night, but I'll never forget that list. And the fact that my name was never crossed out. Story 2, Grandma's attic. When I was a kid, my parents used to drop me off at my grandparents' farmhouse in Pennsylvania every summer. The place sat on about 40 acres of woods, barely any neighbors, no Wi-Fi, no cell service, just crickets, trees, and silence. My room was the old attic. Low ceiling, one window facing the forest. The first summer was fine, the second one, not so much. One night I was reading with my flashlight when I heard slow footsteps coming up the attic stairs. They were soft, careful, like whoever it was didn't want me to know they were there. The doorknob turned. The door opened about 6 inches, then stopped. I killed my light and pretended to be asleep. I figured it was my grandma checking on me, but no one came in. No footsteps leaving. No door closing. Just silence. The next morning, Grandpa said it was just the house settling. Yeah, right. Houses don't turn doorknobs. A few nights later, I woke up to my bed shaking. There was someone standing at the foot of it, just a shadowy outline. I counted to 100 with my eyes shut. When I opened them, they were gone. The closet door was open. I knew I'd closed it. Stuff like that kept happening all summer. Years later, my grandparents passed away, and at the funeral I ran into my cousin Anthony. He used to stay at the farm 2 different weeks than me. We were catching up, and I finally told him about what used to happen in the attic. He just stared at me and said, "That's nothing. That thing used to touch me." He said some nights the figure would sit on his bed. He'd feel the mattress sink, then rough, scratchy fingers trace his face. He kept his eyes shut every time until it left. When he told his mom, she got mad, said he was making it up after that. He stopped talking about it. We don't bring it up anymore, but sometimes I wonder if that old house was really empty at night, or if something else was living there too. Asterisk story 3, the girl in the yellow sweater. When I was 9, we lived in one of those narrow row houses packed side by side. My bedroom was on the 3rd floor, and my window looked directly into the house behind ours, maybe 20 feet away. For the longest time, that window across from mine was always dark, until one day, it wasn't. There was a girl there, about my age, long dark hair in a ponytail, wearing this bright yellow sweater. She waved. I waved back. That became our thing every day after school at exactly 3:30. She'd be there waiting. We'd play games through the glass. draw pictures, give thumbs up or down. She never opened her window though, just smiled and pointed to her ear like she couldn't hear me when I asked my mom about her. She said the couple who lived there, the Murphys, didn't have kids. Maybe she was their granddaughter visiting, but she never left. Then one night around 2 a.m., I woke up to tapping on the window. She was there, same yellow sweater but not smiling. She pointed down, hands together like she was begging for something. I freaked out, hid under my blanket, and tried to sleep for 3 days. She didn't show up. Then, on the fourth night, she was back. Her hands were pressed against the glass, her breath fogging it up even though it was warm outside. Her lips were moving, mouthing something over and over. It looked like she was saying, "Help me." There was a dark stain on her sweater. I ran to my parents' room crying. My dad checked nothing there. The next afternoon, I saw Mrs. Murphy in her garden and asked about the girl. She froze, set down her watering can, and asked how long I'd been seeing her. When I told her, she just said I should go back inside. That night, my parents covered my window with heavy curtains. They said it would help me sleep, but I knew that wasn't the reason. We moved a year later when I was in high school. My mom finally told me the truth. Mrs. Murphy said the family before them had a daughter, Jenna, who was hit by a car out front after school. She was wearing a yellow sweater. The Murphys tried using that room, but weird things kept happening, so they sealed it off completely. I'm 34 now, and I live in a house where my bedroom has no windows facing another building. That's not a coincidence. Sometimes I still dream about that girl. She doesn't smile anymore, but she's always wearing that same yellow sweater. Asterisk, I don't know if these things really happened the way I remember them, but every time I try to convince myself it was all in my head, I get that same icky feeling in my stomach, and deep down I think I already know the truth.